Hello and welcome to Yami Shibai podcast, hosted by me, the Germ. No one else today, and just technical difficulties. Oh!
I'm back.
Ah!
Ghosty.
Ah!
Emerging from the shadows, as always. There's the jump scare of the episode.
Some great work there, Ghosty.
Originally, you could see my head peeking through. I thought it'd be like a good Easter egg. But you said,
I think it was too obvious.
I could see your head. And then I said, that's okay. But because my microphone was way over here, you couldn't hear me. So I just hid the head to get on with it.
I think it was too obvious. I think you could easily see it.
Oh, it's that obvious. I was picturing it being way more shadowy back there than I guess it actually is.
Not shadowy at all.
I'll bring this back into a more less distracting angle now.
I like the stairs behind you. It looks very nice.
Yeah, is it real or is it a Zoom background?
We don't know. It's a mystery. You ran out of the Zoom background.
Special effects, they've evolved so much.
You're not even Ghosty. You're just an AI.
This is AI generated. Yep. I mean, AI generated husbando.
You're the best boy, Ghosty. You're the best boy.
I love you.
What a more empty thing an AI can say to you than that.
Oh man, that is depressing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And I don't want to get into that topic because this has nothing to do with the episode at all.
Yes, we're here to talk about anime, serious topics. So.
A little bit spoilers. I'm not looking forward to reading this episode, so
it's very verbose, very complex episode.
I don't know if I'd say complex, but it's a very audio centric episode.
I felt like it was a bit complicated where there was two story tracks essentially going on at the same time. And I'll get into that later.
Yeah, that's true. So this episode was not fun to... Well, I did have a little bit of fun writing it. That's not fair. But it was more complicated to write than normal. And you're lucky, Ghosty, not to be reading this week, because, it's going to be fun for me.
My week off.
Sit back and relax. It's time for Yami Shibai.
Yay.
Little different intro this week. Just a little.
I'll relax at least. You got to get to work.
Episode title, Cassette Tape. We join our main character visiting his childhood home after being away for many years. He's here to attend his childhood's wedding tomorrow. His childhood friend's wedding tomorrow. Oh, it's not a good sign if I'm already missing words. This is like one of the better slides.
That's true. You got this. I believe in you.
Okay. Oh, I have his belief. Okay, Ghosty, let's go. To attend his childhood friend's wedding tomorrow, and thought it would be nice to spend the night there. After eating with his parents, he heads to his old room. They left his room just the way it was when he left, so he goes through his old things, reminiscing about old times.
Good times. Must be dusty in there.
It probably would be dusty. It depends. I guess it depends how much his parents are obsessed with cleaning.
True.
While exploring, he comes across an old cassette tape, which he made when he was young. It has "What Happened Today" written on it, but he can't remember what's on it. We should probably explain what a cassette tape is. It's unlikely we have anyone younger than like 30 watching this. Unlikely, not impossible. But you never know.
There's a large swath of the human population is under 30. Yeah, cassette tape is like a CD, but got physical tapes.
And older.
What's a CD, you ask? Well, a CD is like Spotify, but a physical version that only has songs from a small subset of the entire world's music catalog on it.
And what's Spotify, you ask? Well, before they implant it in our brains, it was a form on the internet. You could listen for the music from the internet.
Truly archaic. One thing I wanted to point out between these two slides was in the show, the narrator said, he doesn't mind doing things that are creepier than the average person. And I was like, what's creepy about listening to a tape that says my memory's on it?
It doesn't seem creepy to me at all.
Yeah.
He sets up his old cassette player so he can listen to the tape, curious what he recorded on it. I hope it's not porn, for our sake.
You can only get so much on a cassette tape, I guess. So
That's
be a
true.
weird episode.
It would have probably been better for me to write. To summarize, we switch to a live recording of a cassette tape, and we listen in as he hears his much younger self recording a daily journal. It's quick, just one sentence per day. I didn't have the attention span to do anything like this when I was young. How about you, Ghosty?
I don't think many people would. You don't really have the foresight to do something like this when you're a
Mm.
kid. You might do it
Yeah.
for like one day and then you just forget forever, unless your parents forced you to do it.
Mm. And then is it really from you? Like,
Yeah.
the memories the journal brings back are hazy, but it's a pleasant experience listening to his younger self ramble on. We hear his child self say things like, "Today we all played baseball together," and "We went to a birthday party today." A lot of random things from his childhood.
Touching.
If you think this is a lot on one slide, oh, ho, ho, ho. The cassette tape's voice the cassette tape's voice switches to a slightly deeper voice, and he realizes he must have still have been making these when he went to middle school, which surprises him. He would still be recording those at that age.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to hear things like, "I yelled 4 times and no one answered," and "I hear a rattling sound coming from a box." He's rambling on about nonsensical things every day, like his childhood self did.
But it's like slightly more disturbing for some reason.
What teenager would say nonsensical things like a child?
True.
Yeah, that's the disturbing part. And as a teenager, would you really keep up a daily journal?
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah. He's freaked out now. Not only is the daily journey continuing, but it's about events he doesn't even remember, and his younger self continues to ramble on to the point he can't even understand what he's talking about. We hear things like, we're birthday plastic modeling at his house, and I thought it would always stay the same, but lately when I look closely I can see cracks. None of it even makes sense anymore, and it's hard to read.
Mm.
Yep. The voice changes again. Now it's his current voice, and he's talking about work. We hear things like, "But please don't laugh, you'll make it shake," and "I slid backwards down the slide and then leaped out of my dream." All of it nonsense. And then an entry from tomorrow starts. We hear Tane. Oh, I should have practiced this before.
Tanabe-kun.
Tanane Tambat.
Tanabe-kun.
Tambombo Kun's wedding is today. And I said, "Good afternoon" to Tambasan, and he laughed and rattled in the shaking box. He lied. So just like the round old man, I took a stick and chased him. Which, well, makes perfect sense if you ask me.
Yes, that dang round old man.
Mm-hmm. It's a tradition to stick, you know? Our main character yells, "Stop!" and pulls the other cord out of the cassette player. And all we hear is static. The announcer lets us know the wedding was as exciting as it could be. The end.
Whoa. Weird ending, to be honest.
It is a weird ending.
I didn't really get it at first. I played it back once, and then I didn't fully get it until we were going back through the slides again to just do like a check before we recorded.
Yeah. So you were in the dark. It is a lot of information, to be fair.
Yeah, I found it kind of difficult with this episode where you're reading the subtitles. I imagine it's the same for listening to the audio. You're reading the subtitles, the narrator, and then at the same time, there's the subtitles of what's going on the recording a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So it's like 2 streams of information you have to process at the same time.
I think it'd be easier if it was in our language, but I don't think it'd be easy.
Yeah, I agree with that, but it was still a lot going on.
Yeah. It's like information overload, as they say, right?
Yeah. So it's kind of hard to tell like what was going on in his memory versus keeping up with the narrator.
I think I said this is the first episode. No, I think I said this off before we started recording. Uh,
Mhm.
I didn't take everything they said. I just took snippets of what was being said over the cassette tape.
There's many things he says in the cassette
Yeah,
tape. I think we only had like 4 of them in there, 5
yeah.
of them.
And there's
There's
that's
probably like
just
20.
snippets of what he said. Like they were nonsense though.
This is another episode where
Narration.
they didn't need a lot of images. I
Ah,
think probably
yes.
about
Yeah.
a quarter of the episode was just the recording of the tape playing,
Mhm.
and the other like probably quarter was just him sitting there with headphones on. Like,
Yeah. Ooh, ooh.
yeah,
um, if you're saving money for another episode, this is the way to do it though.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's only a few people. Well, actually, there's a decent amount of people that work on this show,
Mhm.
so I don't know.
But if you can save your animators time to spend more time on another episode, I think that's a great idea.
True, that's very true.
I think in Western TV shows they call it a bottle episode. It takes place all in existing like sets and like they don't go anywhere new or exciting.
Usually, those are throwaway episodes.
They can be. They can be
Yeah.
really good too. Sometimes in a few science fiction shows recently, they had them except it was time travel episodes.
So what does that mean? They went back to places they were before or something?
They were just in one location, like on their starship, if I remember correctly.
I see.
So they didn't need them
I
build
guess
any.
most episodes of Starship shows are bottle episodes.
No, not especially nowadays. Not mostly they do have new sets and new stuff going on.
Going around to different planets and stuff or
Yeah,
something.
it's true they
Come
do
on, Yami
new.
Shibai. Standards have stepped up. Step up to the plate.
I actually have a note here agreeing with you about the budget as well. Uh, I liked how it felt like a spooky story that could happen to anyone.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I thought that too. Like everybody identifies with going back home, especially for like somebody's wedding and seeing all your old stuff and all the memories it brings back.
Unless your parents just chucked out as soon as you left.
I think it's pretty uncommon for people to have their childhood bedroom completely
Mm,
untouched, though.
I do think so as well.
That would be honestly just a waste of space.
I think more commonly your stuff would end up in the attic or something.
Yeah, just throw it in a box and forget about it for
I do
another
think
40 years.
I do think it happens though.
I guess it depends how much space you have in your house.
Yeah. I have that note about the man who loved checkout things that most would find scary. I have that written down as well.
That made no sense.
I
They were
totally
scared
agree.
to listen to an audio recording from when they were a kid.
I know it's weird.
Maybe we're missing something here, but like even if I didn't remember it, I was like, oh, that's nostalgic. Let's try.
You know what's scary, Ghosty? He's probably just as old as we are.
Oh, that's possible because cassette tapes were
Though
around when we were young.
this is Japan. They probably had cassette tape before we did.
I don't know what the cutoff would be, but cassette tapes are very in our lifetime. And then
Hmm.
when we were kids, people shifted to CDs.
Yep, I remember.
Cassette tapes were superior to CDs in a lot of ways, if you think about it. More durable, easier to record on. Maybe they didn't sound as good.
I think they also had less like space on them, like way less space.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You had to flip the cassette.
If I remember correctly, I only could get like one song per cassette tape, couldn't you?
Oh, no, no. You can get like 4, maybe more
Yeah, but a CD can
on each
easily do
side.
that. Even CDs from back then.
Oh, yeah, yeah. CDs
Yeah,
can do like
yeah,
16, maybe.
yeah. That's a big improvement.
Yeah, true.
You also don't have to rewind them.
Oh, yeah. Not that I would also. Okay, that's actually a good point. With tapes, you couldn't skip between the songs. You had to fast forward and then
Uh,
hit play. Fast forward, play.
so there are many advantages over tape, like CDs over tapes.
Yeah, the digital kind of like data information stuff.
This is going to be completely unrelated to what we're talking about. Did you ever hear about the record they made? I don't know what band or what song this was. They
Mhm.
recorded two different songs so that people who would put it depended like where the record pointer landed. You could hear two entirely different songs.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
I did hear. Who was this?
I don't
It depends
remember.
on like
Yeah.
pretty much random chance which groove the needle is
Yeah.
going to fall into, right?
That's really cool.
That is cool. It would really mess with you too.
Yeah. Uh, and that's where the whole like backwards they're saying things fad came from.
Hey, some of those sound legit, man. Listen, stop this YouTube video, open a new tab because you got to come back to this, and listen to Stairway to Heaven backwards.
And then open up another tab and listen to us backwards, and you hear all the secret messages about the Illuminati. But human brains look for familiar things, okay? That's just how it goes.
The Stairway one is pretty cool, though.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's not cool, but I almost 100% guarantee it wasn't on purpose.
It seems like it'd be pretty damn hard to have a song that makes sense forwards and backwards.
Did you ever see people talking backwards? You have to pronounce things differently than normal.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's a weird skill to have too, isn't it?
I'm trying to remember. It was from the BBC. They had like this. They have a channel that they like release where they like introduce these scientific ideas to children. So there's like a stage. I think it must have been recorded in the 90s or 2000s, not recently. And like one of the scientists could like speak backwards, and he taught a kid how to say a word backwards, and then they played it backwards.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That's a very specific talent. You know, every party that guy goes to, he's like, "You want to hear me say the backwards words?"
In backwards, that's backwards. That said, "Did you fall from heaven?"
Yeah, you know that's accurate. And when he was on TV, they're like, "Oh, it's the backwards words guy."
I'll get it ready to go backwards. I have one last thing to say about this episode. Do you have anything?
No, I think we covered most of my stuff. What are you thinking?
There's one thing left to cover. Did you like the voiceover guy for this episode?
I was mostly indifferent. I didn't like him or dislike him.
I didn't like him. I thought he had too soft of a voice for this kind of show.
He was kind of doing the creepy. Like it sounded more creepy to me though than past episodes.
Yeah, we'd have to compare them all together, but to me, his voice is too like loving.
Sounded too comforting.
Yeah. Like you need someone with that nice deep voice, then they can go into that like almost otherworldly tone, if that makes sense.
Yeah. The ending definitely didn't feel creepy. He was like, "It was a happy wedding."
Oh yeah, we should talk about the wedding. As exciting as it could be. I think they could have used a better line.
That might just be a weird translation.
I was wondering if it could be. I'm not sure. Like there was discussion in the comments. I don't remember if I grabbed any of them that the ending could be better.
I felt that too until I kind of thought about like the metaphors and stuff later.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We'll get in that a little later. Shall we go into comments?
Yes. What are people saying? Mr. Rusty or my Rusty Spoon, Salad Fingers fan, said, "I wonder if the cracked box they're referring to was a coffin. As in he was already dead, died during childhood, but he followed his friend to the grave." Whoa.
Isn't that a cool theory?
It is a good theory. It's reading into a lot.
Because they did mention a box that got cracks in it in the cassette tape.
I think the cracked box to me was more like just representing going through life and eventually you're going to die.
Oh,
and feeling his mortality kind of thing, not necessarily that he was already dead.
How about that he yelled out in the classroom 3 times and no one responded? What do you think that represents in his life?
He's ignored. Maybe he became a ghost at that point based off of this comment. But it definitely, the cracked box thing feels related to coffins, doesn't it?
I do feel like there is some cool stuff that he's suggesting that could be. Anyway, next comment from Hal Bratch. Bratched?
That's fine.
I know I'm wrong. The only interpretation I can come up with is that he died when he was a kid, which is why the room was unchanged,
Hmm.
and has been and just being a ghost recording everything. It's not without holes, but that's my theory on this convoluted mess, which I think is a good theory as well. But I think there's more than just that.
I'm surprised how um, common the ghost comments are, I guess. People are taking it in a lot more of a concrete ghost story type of way than I did.
Me too. I'm not against this line of thinking. Like, I think there's a lot of evidence to suggest that it's true. Like his room being unchanged since he was a kid. We even talked about
Yeah,
that.
that was a good one. Yeah.
But I don't think it's the only interpretation.
I'm just surprised. Was this most of the comments were like he was a
No.
Oh, okay.
Some of the early ones were this, and I tried to have them in the order they came out.
Oh, I see.
So like
that makes sense.
that's why I have this one after the other one.
Amur Otaku said, as far as I can tell, the cassette does something to cloud the veil between what is real and his dreams. Like the times when he was a kid and he can't tell at the wedding and kills his friend. Did that happen? I didn't hear
He's
that.
speculating, for the record.
Hard to tell while paying attention to both subs. Yeah, that's what I said too.
I think that takes an interesting way that maybe is predicting he murders his friend at the wedding, which is an interesting twist.
That part makes sense for like the coffin related stuff. I didn't hear anything that insinuated he killed his friend. This made it sound like there was something specific for that, but I might just not remember.
He hit his friend with a stick after he lied.
Oh, yes. That is weird.
Yeah. So I think there's strong evidence for this one. And I really like the dream aspect where it's like between the dream and reality, like because it does mention dream in the cassette tape. He went down the slide and jumped out of his dream, I think is the line.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That is an interesting interpretation then.
Yeah. Twin disciples. Can someone PM me a guest pass, please? No.
Do they mean like a +1 for the wedding, or is this like a?
He's asking for a guest pass for. They're asking for a guest pass for the Crunchyroll. No.
Shame on you, twin disciples.
Maybe I should have blurred their name, but it's a lot funnier. For some reason, I got 21 thumbs up and no one replied.
I don't know.
No,
people are charitable, I guess.
No, we're not giving you a guest pass. Get out of here.
123762596 Is that their phone number?
I don't know. I hope not.
It's enough numbers for a phone number. It'd be weird if their area
geez,
code was 123
not...
though. Said, if you look at the very ended of the video, you will see that the headphones were not plugged into the radio, meaning that the story was supposed to be on a cassette tape, but it was all in his head.
I saw several people theorizing about that, but my interpretation, I think it's the same as yours, is he pulled it out when he yelled no or stop.
Yeah, my very harsh feedback for people thinking this is, do you lack object permanence? The headphones were unplugged, therefore they were never plugged in.
I think it's a valid theory. I just think it has weak evidence.
It is valid. It's interesting. And they never showed the headphones plugged in before that. But my interpretation was also that it was pulled out because he was freaked out.
I'm kind of nervous that might be a phone number, but I guess they have it as their Crunchyroll account, so I guess
don't think 123 could be an area code. That'd be a weird area code.
Should I look up where 123 is just to see?
I got this. Okay. How fast can I go? 1, 2, 3. Oh, I have a typo already.
So while you're typing, there were some people who were thinking this, but I think it's kind of like last week with the pants be gone while he's on the toilet. I just don't think people give it enough thought.
That was the most.
That one was clearly not
the
well thought out.
One.
Yeah, this one I can see some weak evidence for it.
I can't tell if there's 1, 2, 3. This information is confusing to read while talking, so we'll just have to say.
It doesn't look like it. Did you look up
I'm on
area code?
Wikipedia with the list of all area codes, and it starts 200.
Oh, so it's unlikely then.
Yeah. Oh wait. No, that's not right. Okay, yeah, I don't know.
Let's say it's not and hope for the best. Okay. My turn to read.
Yep.
Idzone ALV21 says, so he has schizophrenia or something? At first I thought he's listening the diary of himself, but in another dimension. I thought that was interesting.
People have a lot of theories about this episode.
Mm-hmm. There's way more comments than average in this one, and some gold stuff in here.
Probably because of the open ending.
Yeah. Not comedy gold though, as far as I remember. Some episodes you get comedy gold. Some other episodes like this one you get like theory gold. Some you get a mixture.
I'd rather get some juicy theories.
And then you have another category of everyone being confused, like Tao Chan. Was it Tao Chan?
That was a pretty common
Now
one.
Chan.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell did I just watch?
And we agreed.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Monkey Beasto said, I liked the psychological horror angle. A telltale heart type story and very well done. Nothing creepier than your mind revealing what you chose to forget.
Ooh, I thought that was very well put.
That puts some extra context on the episode too. Like maybe he forgot about his problem childhood or something.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Austin Lee 9527 says, what if one of the recordings said that why didn't I practice this bloke's name? Tanabe passed away when they were still kids, and he realizes he's going to his wedding tomorrow. That would have been a great twist.
I feel like yes, but I actually like my interpretation of this episode more than a straightforward ghost story.
Yeah, I did think this would be an interesting way to take it.
Shadow Wolf X again.
He has good comments, or she.
They comment a lot. Says he must really love hearing his own voice. XD. Yeah, if you listen to every single iteration, it's quite a bit.
I think most people are like me. You have to get used to hearing your own voice in recordings.
I think you'd be able to listen to your voice as a kid pretty easily, though.
That's true.
The level of cringe is slightly detached at that point.
That's a very fair point. You read the last one, right? Yes.
Yep.
Parthrex. Probably.
Close enough.
Yeah. Maybe the box is like his emotions or something. Like how he mentions the box reacting badly with happiness, laughing. And the more damaged the box was, the more aggressive he was, chasing the man with a stick. I'm not sure, though. Because he mentions a box several times in the recording.
I like that. Yeah. I feel like the box is like his ego or something.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Last comment?
Senpai that ignores you. I think we this person before too. Says, it sounds like he was always resented his childhood friend, and now that he is getting married, this event pushed him over the edge.
Another interesting theory.
Was there anything about his friend when they were kids? I don't remember there being anything specific.
He did mention his childhood friend that he's going to the wedding of. I don't remember exactly what the context was. I think he was at his birthday party and they were doing plastic models or something. Oh,
yes. And he was jealous.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay. So, anything? It sounds like you have some themes and metaphors for this episode.
Yeah, I think the last comment kind of segues into it well. To me, it's like he's listening to the recording of his childhood and realizing that he kind of missed out on all his hopes and dreams and that he's really not happy, but he's never come to grips with it until this point. So he's listening to this recording, remembering like how happy he was, and then kind of slowly realizing that everything he built around him is not what he thought it would be.
Ooh, that's a good theory.
It's like crumbling around him. That's the box breaking. And that's why he's like kind of distraught about his friend getting married too, because he realizes that he's missing out on that also.
That's a really good idea. And for once, I forgot to actually make a theory or metaphor. Let's see if I can come up with one on the spot different from yours. Yours was so good. I don't think I stand a chance. There was laughing in the tape, and he's worried about something shaking and cracking, or it is cracking. Maybe he's worried about his supper.
He goes to the wedding tomorrow, and he's got gas in the middle of the quiet church.
Chipotle, the villain of this podcast.
Chipotle almost ended this podcast.
Yeah, like I think your theme and metaphor is so good. I'm having trouble coming up with one myself.
I'm kind of surprised none of the other comments took it that way. That felt like the most straightforward one to me.
I think they had very good things too, though.
Oh, yes. Yeah. But my opinion is more valid.
Because you're voicing it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't have anything as strong as you, so let's stick with that. So, Ghosty, what is your personal score of this episode?
Yeah, given all the different interpretations you can have, and that a lot of them seem pretty deep to me. I actually really like this episode. The one negative being the ending was kind of lame.
And that's what brought down my score.
So I give it like an 8.
That's not what you told me.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Did I say 9?
Yeah, you did say 9.
Oh, I give it a 9.
8 was my score.
Yes. Yes. 9.
Maybe I should have just went with it and said 9 myself, just so the next slide's right.
I think the open ending is actually justifiable because it's like everybody had a great time at the wedding. There's like an implication.
As good as they could have,
sarcasm.
I think it said.
Yeah. It's like a bit weird.
Yeah. For me, the reason I gave it an 8, like you already know, because I loved this episode as well. Its open-ended nature is really good, and it felt like it could happen to anyone. But the ending was weak, and there was no fun monster.
No monster points.
Yeah, and that it
can't be a 10.
Yeah, it can't be a 10 for me. It's fun though. I really did love this episode. I think it's above average, even though it was a bottle episode.
Yeah.
And so here's the original 9. Who cares?
I'm definitive.
So are you good of a 9? I can change it.
Yes, because as I was criticizing the ending, I was thinking in my head, actually, I kind of like it. So 9 is good.
I think
that makes it probably our highest ranked episode.
I didn't double check. We discussed this before because we wanted it to be a surprise for the end. But we do think it was our highest rated episode this season.
We haven't liked anything else that much, I don't think so.
And we've been on like different ranges, both of us. One of us likes it, the other one dislikes it. Like
that too.
This feels like the first time in a while we both aligned with our love for an episode.
Yeah, on the same page.
Yeah. I have a note that I love the simplicity. I think it ups the spook factor. That's on the wrong slide, me.
That's true, though.
The spook factor.
8 out of 10 on the spook factor.
Okay. This has been a fun episode, guys. And the next episode is Grinding Teeth.
Oh, you're going to hate that. You hate teeth thing and nail things. So this is going to be a rough one for
I've
you.
ever had a teeth thing. Definitely nail.
Just the nails.
I think everyone has a teeth thing.
Maybe somebody's like grinding their teeth in their sleep and they're waking up with headaches or something. And it turns out they're not actually getting headaches from the grinding teeth.
Oh.
It's a ghost.
Along the right idea, I'd give you like half points.
Yes.
Yeah. Like you're close, but not quite.
I'll take what I can get.
Right idea, wrong lane. Thanks for joining me, Ghosty.
It's been real.
And thank you all for being you. Bye. Oh, that was loud. Oh, that was so loud.